ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of DC Comics Batman. No, of the Universal Legends.
I'm in the wrong spot. Sorry, guys.
I am Batman.
I'm in the wrong spot. Because I swear to you, I thought we were doing an NSYNC concert, and I was Justin Timberlake.
Joe, really?
Yeah.
You look like him.
Oh yeah, it looks like identical. Everywhere I go, like, hey, it's Justin Timberlake.
I don't know anybody else.
It's Joey Fatone.
Oh, Joey Fatone, I like him. He's funny.
Joey Fatone.
I like him. He's funny.
He's got a new sandwich shop.
He likes hot dogs and sandwiches.
Yeah.
My kind of guy. You go, Joey.
Well, his name is Fat One, right?
Stop.
Fatone.
Stop. It's funny that.
No, that's the name of his restaurant.
Is it really?
Fat One. Yeah.
Mr. Fatone. That is a very lovely play on words. I give you credit. But anyway,
we're back.
We're back.
We're
back. We're bigger. We're better. Not yet. The renovations haven't started yet. Everybody's been busy this week.
I'm a little bigger.
I'm trying to get this scheduled so we could get Anthony in here in the middle, or actually over there soon. But we got to get our proverbial butts together to do this.
Anthony's the cream,
huh?
We're the
Oreos. All right. Yes.
I would say the bigger of. He's got a lot.
No matter what will come out of my words next would not sound nice.
He's well built.
Would not sound would sound wrong in one another. Yeah, no, he's
well built.
He's a big dude. Yeah. I mean, I'll kick his head. No, I'm joking.
If he's watching,
he does.
You know he's watching.
He watches. So,
he's going for you.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks everybody for coming back, and let's talk some more stuff that's in between your ears.
Yeah. I mean, last time we were, our last episode that we did, we grazed by the inner voice, and I
touched on it. Yes.
Yeah, and so the vision that I get on the inner voice is that I had mentioned that it's like you have this inner person. It's just been filled with rocks through the years. You just bury it with rocks, and you're like, "Oh my God, it's somewhere in there."
Like the good angel and the devil, like the angel and the devil on each of your shoulders.
That's the imagery I get. It's like it's this little person, right? Little you inside.
It's a little me inside.
It's a little you. It's not that you're pregnant.
Eat the baby.
Although it is 2024, maybe you are. I don't know. But
whatever works.
But you're pregnant, and through the years, sorry, you're not pregnant. You know what I'm saying? There's a little person.
By the way. This is not on my website. Whatever he's saying has nothing to do with. There's no pregnant men. There's no babies inside of people.
Yeah,
but I love when Henry explains.
Disclaimer: I'm the artist here. I'm the artist. You want facts? There you go. Nah, but there's this little guy in you that has been just buried with rocks and years of,
judgments and just learn behaviors
but that person does live inside of us, right? Meaning each one of us.
So when you say person,
I knew it. Okay.
No, because and honestly, I say it because I want them to
them. So when I say person, I refer to the person in imagery. So in the image that I get, quick image, right? So we'll make references to everything, but in my mind, the image is there's this person inside of you who gives you counsels that, hey,
Yeah, and I guess everybody sees it differently, and that's a personal preference, right?
So stimulus one comes in and says, hey, I think you should do this. But because it's so bogged down with rock, I say rock, but just like he's got to climb out of it. You don't hear it.
Struggle. Yeah.
You don't hear it.
Yes, you don't hear it because
or if you hear it, it's not as loud as the other voices.
So is your question like, what is the conscious voice, or what does it look like? Or
let me tell you something. So I want to get into what it is.
Okay.
I want to get into not what it looks like, because
that could be anything for anybody.
My intuition tells me it doesn't look like anything. It's just
it doesn't really. But people could use imagery to help them, like put a face to God, so to speak, right?
Okay.
It's helpful sometimes. So absolutely. That's a coaching.
The reason I said to you last time, at the last episode, I do want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
How do I connect with that inner voice, and how can I make way for it? How can I give it the volume that it deserves? Because there's so much that goes on in your day, right? There's so much that goes on. Like, I wish I can tell you, here's a time where I listened to that voice, and here's a time where I didn't. I can't do that. It's almost as if I myself kind of have lost that inner voice, meaning I can't hear it. Or maybe I think I can't hear it.
I think you're trying to hear something that it's really not a voice. So, all right. So when I say, yeah, no, finish. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
Because I said voice, but it's more of a feeling. It's more of a nudge, exactly. A tug.
Exactly.
It's almost like, I'm gonna give you a concrete example here, right? So I was doing some life coaching with a life coach, right?
Yeah.
Which I mentioned to you.
Yeah, sure.
She had me do an exercise, and in that exercise, she said the following: "What is your inner voice telling you?" And when she said that, I was like,
"You don't know."
I wish I can tell you.
So when somebody says to you, "What is your inner voice saying?" What immediately happens is the thinking mind comes in and gives a voice to that. It's just, unfortunately, that's a tough way to phrase that question.
That's so obvious. It's like crazy.
Yeah, because
but we didn't even think about it.
Yeah, because so what is my inner voice saying? Well, now my mind is like, yes, no, go, stop, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. What should we do? Blue, brown? I don't know. It's a good idea. It's not a good idea. The thinking mind's active. So when we say when I say conscious voice, because that's kind of what's on my coaching on my website. But when I say conscious voice, it's learning to filter out all the voices in our minds, because we don't have one voice, right? Yes, they all sound the same. I mean, at times, if you want, you can make your voices sound like whatever you want. But when you're thinking about something, or when you're trying to work through something, you probably think it sounds like your own voice. But if I ask most people, they most likely would be like, I don't even know. I can't even put a voice to it. We assume it sounds like us, right? It's just these thoughts that we have that are our minds telling us, okay, here's information, think. Good, bad, neutral, whatever the thought might be, right? You can put whatever you want. And those are all our voices that tell us we suck, that tell us we're the best, that tell us we're in the middle. Those are all our voices. So how do we pick out the real voice, the one that we want, the one that has our best interest in mind, the one that loves us, the one that's compassionate, the one that wants the best for us? It's really not a voice. It's basically what it is it's the awareness which sees all the voices, understands that they're all there, and then from a take a step back perspective, can look at them, and then you get a feeling of which direction is a genuine direction for you to go to. That's when I say it's an intuition. It's a, like, and I said this a couple episodes ago, like if I put somebody in the spot, and I did this with my son 2 weeks ago, and we said it, he was trying to figure something out, and he couldn't, and he was talking for a half hour, talking it out with me, talking to me. I go, stop. I go, I'm going to ask you a question. I go, when I'm done, as soon as I stop, it's a yes or no. I go, it's yes or no. You have to take a half a second. What feels right, whatever feels right, say it. Because it might not be the easiest answer, but it's going to be the one that you genuinely want.
Okay.
So I asked him the question, and right away he said yes. I said, okay.
There's your answer.
I said, there's your answer. And he says, you're right. That is my answer. So he was something he was struggling back and forth with. He was making pros and cons. And when I saw what he was doing, he was hearing all these different voices. I said, but inside of all that, there's the thing that you really want to do, the path you want to take with this situation. I said, how do we get to that? I said, let's take everything out of it. I said, when I ask you, and I kind of preface, when I ask you this question, what feels right? I didn't say what's the first thought that comes to your mind, because the mind, if you leave it up to the mind, sometimes it's just going to say shit. I go, what feels right? Say it. I go, but it's what feels right. Like, and that is not I always say that's our intelligence. That's our higher intelligence. That's our conscious voice. That's our intuition saying, yeah, this is what we actually want to do with our life. Like, we want out of this situation. Yes. Okay. Now you could put a plan into action to make the yes happen using the intellectual mind. So when I say conscious voice, it's not like another voice that comes in and goes, and I know there's I posted things with Morgan Freeman because I just love his voice, by the way. Yeah, he's like, yeah, stop, go, here, there. It is, that kind of is something like it, but you're actually not hearing it. It's more of a feeling that goes, yes, like pushes you to yes, or pushes you to no. Or you look at a person and you just get this feeling like this is a person I'm going to be with. Or you get a feeling this is not the person I'm going to be with. But in the split second from when you get that feeling to when the mind catches on that here comes this feeling, where we have this feeling, the mind goes, oh, I registered a feeling. Now I'm going to analyze this feeling for you, John. You could lose it and miss that what your intuition was kind of pushing you in a certain direction or giving you this guidance or this self-compassion. And here comes your mind and goes, you get this, whatever the question might be. And you're like, yes, like, I just feel like that's the way. And all of a sudden your mind goes, yes, that's the way, but. And once you're hearing it in your head again, be wary. That's the thinking mind that comes back in. So it's how do we filter that out so we can actually pay attention to what this feeling is when it comes up. That's where mindfulness comes in. That's where awareness comes in. That's where that separation between our thoughts and the images and the things that we, the voices that we hear in our head and who we actually are. Without awareness, your intuition gets, so when you said before, the rock's on top.
I gave it the image.
You gave it. So let's put it, let's put it something maybe that's even a little bit more palatable. We dim the lights completely on our awareness. Now we can't feel our intuition. So we want to raise that. We want to brighten the room again. We want to brighten our awareness so we could actually feel that. We could pay attention to what our intuition, to what that higher intelligence is kind of saying to us, right? Now this isn't, do I want chocolate or vanilla? I mean, I'm talking about things that are important to you, right? Not like the meaningless decisions we make during the day. Oh, should I have a hamburger instead of steak? What's my intuition say? Yeah, I guess you could do that, but like, it's not really what it's meant for. Like, your mind's going to come in and go, like, a hamburger better than a steak. I'm talking like, is this job right for me? Are these people the right people I should be around? Is this the right environment?
Or the girl?
Yes. Is this the right environment? Is this really the relationship I want to be in with all this toxicity, even though she's hot or he's good looking or he's got money? Is this,
or have I talked myself into it?
Exactly. Right. And that's where you're like, but no, I don't want to be here. But if you have no awareness, you're not going to hear that. And that's why people, I mean, not the only reason, but that's why people get stuck in certain relationships. They get stuck in certain jobs because they don't hear that inner voice, that conscious voice that's telling them, this isn't where you want to be. Circumstances in life where this isn't where I want to be, but I need this job to pay my bills for my family. Right. We understand that, right? Again, you have a choice there. You could still choose to not be there and try to figure something else out.
Right.
You could choose to remove yourself from the situation because you don't want to be in it and deal with the consequence. Because I said, listening to your conscious voice doesn't mean you get the easy path.
That's it.
Most of the times, when you listen to that inner voice, it's most likely the more difficult, bumpy, challenging, probably the best word, path, not the easier path, right? Because even if you're in a relationship and you want to leave, right? Because the person, whatever, things aren't working out, there's toxicity in it, there's, a lot of neediness from this one person, they're dragging you down, they're occupying all your time, they're not letting you breathe, whatever it might be, they're not giving you space, and you feel like, I need to take care of me right now. Okay, well, separating from that person might not be, like, the easier thing to do might be to stay there and just fucking deal with it. That's easier, right? Yeah, whatever. She's nice. I love her. I'm going to stay. Oh, he's nice. I'm going to stay with him. The harder path might be having the conversation to separate from them. And that's really where you want to be, maybe. But your mind comes in and goes, oh,
it's too hard.
But then I got to have a hard conversation.
And they're going to be pissed. We're going to have a fight.
Change that to a job. Change that to a family issue. Whatever it might be. And they usually, where this comes into play, it tends to be a more important, pressing thing in your life.
The big stuff.
The bigger stuff, right? Like I said before, like, do I have vanilla or chocolate? I mean, that's no. Yeah. I mean, if you're really in tune, maybe like you might get pulled towards vanilla. I don't know, but I mean, I've never really those I usually lose. Yeah,
swirl cone.
Yeah,
half vanilla.
Half vanilla. You could do that too. Right? That's good. The mix. So like those decisions, I usually leave up to my mind. Like I'm like, yeah, I like vanilla better. That's it. Right? It's easy or whatever. But So when we say conscious voice, when I say conscious voice, that's kind of like, I don't want people to think it's actually another voice, because all that is, if you hear it, it's the thinking mind. If you hear it, because your intuition doesn't speak.
That's right.
Your conscious voice really doesn't speak words, because once you hear words, and any spiritual teacher will tell you this, right? Even psychiatrists will tell you this. A good therapist will tell you this. Once you hear words, it's the thinking mind that's back in, right? It's the thinking mind. The awareness we've said this a million times. Awareness has no voice, has no face, has no image. It just sees and hears all.
Right. The way we process our decision-making process, it's not a visible thing. It's a feeling thing. So, and I point to my mind because I'm thinking this is where it takes place. Who knows? It takes place in the whole body, but I point to here. But these are all feelings. Basically, there is no, because what reason I wanted to say it was all feelings, because when I'm thinking through an important decision,
yeah,
and I want to be cognizant of the inner voice, I'm not waiting for, it's this one, you moron.
Yes.
I'm not waiting.
I think that's what a lot of people do.
No. But I will tell you this. It moves in first position the decision that it wants you to take. And you keep seeing it in first position. So you're thinking through your options, and bing. Yeah, but bing. But you know what? Bing. And okay, well, maybe it is. That's kind of the process that is going on in my mind. And even that is not right, because that's not how it happens, but I'm giving it some imagery.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Is that your inner voice? Would that be possibly
that comes back up?
Right? Possibly the thought that keeps coming back in. It's almost like that's what you want to do, but right now you're trying to figure out ways of what's wrong with this decision, so that if you make that decision,
I mean, if the thought keeps coming back up, I would just say I wouldn't say that's your inner voice or that's your conscious voice. I would say that your mind has, depending on what the situation is, has given that thought a certain level, or that decision in whatever you're doing a certain level of importance, and it just keeps bringing it up, Not necessarily that's the right way, because just because you have repetitive thoughts, my OCD people out there who experience OCD, we all know the repetitive thoughts that keep coming up don't mean that they're true, right? Because, and I preface that because if there's somebody in the audience who's listening who experiences anxiety or obsessive compulsive thinking, they can be like, well, I always have this thought of this. Does that mean, no, that's not your inner voice telling you that you're a pedophile, or that you're going to harm somebody, or that you're whatever, right, religious,
whatever your
flavor is. No, it doesn't mean any of that.
You have to kill this person.
Yes. No, but because somebody who hasn't done any work or research or doesn't know much about it, who experiences these things, that'll freak the shit out of them. Right. So a repetitive thought does not mean that's not your conscious voice. Conscious voice, I said, it's not even a thought or an image. It's a feeling. Some people put an image to their intuition to say, if it's good, I want to bring up this image. If it's good for me, I'll bring up this image. If it's bad for me, I'll bring up that image. And that can work. And that's a coaching skill, which I've tried it with clients, and I think it can work. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, because I think, I just, you know what? I should say this. I don't have enough experience with doing that where I've seen that it works 1,000 times. But how different is that when I tell my sons yes or no? But I preface it with, it comes from here. It comes from a feeling, not from a thought.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're trying to make a decision, it's a feeling, not a thought. Like it's where you want to be. Like people ask, so what do you want to do with your life? Well, people like, I'll say, I want to live a quiet life. Like that would be my conscious voice if I had to put it into words, like a quiet, simple life. But my mind is going to say, but we want to be famous on Instagram. But I want to be a famous coach. But I want to do this. But I want to do that. But I want to do that. And I start going against everything that I actually want in life. That, like, what's actually important to me, what I value. So your intuition sometimes gets based around your values too, right? Things that are important to you that you care about.
Mm.
But we don't hear them because the thinking mind comes in. So like when we say conscious voice, I don't want people to think that we're looking for another voice. We're looking for a filter, probably the best way to put it, to give you a proper filter that's going to be able to filter out all the crap in your head and have you choose what's best for you in your life at this moment, at this time, at this situation, what's going on now. It's not an answer for everything. No, it's an answer for what you're experiencing right now, and what you genuinely want. What you genuinely want, like what your soul, to put it into words, your being genuinely wants for you. But we don't, because we listen to the mind, and the mind has, analytics, it has its reasons, it has its judgments, it has its history, and it has everything else. So it's big. And we had an episode on gut feelings and intuition.
Did we?
Yes, early on. And that's basically what it is. When you were a kid, they go, what is your gut telling you? And a lot of times when people ask you that question, like, my gut's telling me to not take this job. Okay? But it pays so good. All right. And again, you get a choice. You don't have to listen to it. It's not like you have to. You don't have to. You could go take the job that pays more money.
Right. And you
6 months down the line, you might be stressed, miserable. You might not.
Right.
You might have, you know what? Why did I take this? It's not worth the money.
Right.
Meanwhile, 6 months before, when your body was like, no, like this isn't what we genuinely want.
Okay. I mean,
there's a lot there, I guess, but
yeah.
but it really, I say it all boils down to awareness, presence, being able to see your thoughts and filter through them without believing it. That keeps people that makes somebody respond, not react. So your intuition, your conscious voice, helps you respond to a situation, not react, because a response is going to be the higher intelligence. A response is going to be something that, this is how I want to resolve this. Not, I need to be vindicated. Not, I need to be heard. That's the reaction. That's the mind that goes, screw you.
The ego's working.
The ego's working, where your conscious voice, your inner voice, that one that loves you and cares for you and wants the best for you, is going to be like, let's talk this out. Yeah. Right? But talking this out doesn't mean you get to say that everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, John, you're right. Or Henry, you're right. No.
I'm glad you went there. Yeah. Because that was one of my things. I want to make sure, like, at no point are you saying that if you follow that inner voice, that inner tug, that inner nudge, that things are going to go perfect.
No, it's not.
Because
it's life.
Right.
It just means in that moment, it's what you actually, something that you actually care about enough that's the path. It's the path that you genuinely want to be on.
The real you.
The real you. So when you haven't, and we use an argument because that's a great one. If you're having a discussion with somebody and somebody is speaking in a certain manner that it triggers you to want to be heard, or I need to have my voice heard, or I need to be, you see the way I'm pointing, I. That becomes very reactionary. That's the mind that's coming in saying, we need to, I need to. But there may be something inside of you that at the same time is like, there's a better way to resolve this. But it doesn't scream. The one you hear is usually, it's the thinking mind. You're never going to, like, the conscious voice is something that's going to come in and go, John, don't do it.
Right.
No, it's going to be a feeling to be like this. It's just, it's a knowing that says, let's talk this out.
Right.
But if you're so attached to the thinking mind that you have no awareness, you're going to listen to the voice that says, screw him, screw them, blah, 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 me, I got to get my stay in. I got to tell you how I feel. This is wrong. This is injustice. Now, again, not to say that if you're in a situation where you need to defend yourself, you don't defend yourself. I'm not even talking verbally. I'm only talking physically. Like if something's going wrong and you have to actually defend yourself, yeah, you do that. That's human nature. But in a conversation, so for me, I never see the point in a conversation where it has to turn into an argument. Even if somebody doesn't want to hear what you're saying, you can still keep talking to them. And I've had this issue with a friend of mine who was, who's like, it's hard to talk to you sometimes. I'm like, why? He goes, because you're like devil's advocate on everything. He goes, can't you just agree with me? I'm like, why do I have to agree with you? I go, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm not listening to my mind that wants to respond. I digest it, and I go in the path that I feel is okay. So how do we discuss this properly, right? And that's actually your conscious voice, that one that's like almost pump the brakes. Let's not react. We can respond to the situation, right? But none of that happens if you're attached and you just go. Like, you got to have that filter, and the filter is awareness. Like, when I use the word conscious voice, it's a fancier word, probably for awareness, but it's try to get to people. It's trying to make a client or a person understand your intuition inside is going to give you a lot more guidance than you would think if you just listened and had that space where you could hear or feel where it's kind of pushing you to be. You know, like there are people who'll say two different things in a sentence. You know, they'll say something and then turn it around and be like, well, yeah, but yeah, we could do it that way too. Because they're still so attached to this. But there's part of them that says, we could do it. Like, we could compromise. But right away, first, it's got to be this. And then they kind of backtrack a little bit. That might be somebody who kind of has, what do we call, it was Eckhart Tolle calls it, I think, like delayed awareness, and there it is. Like, it doesn't happen. It's not there before the thought. Right after the thought, it comes in and goes, whoa, okay, hold on. Right. And that's how, I tell people, if you're having that, you're on your way already, because it means you're seeing it. Now, as you do that more, you're going to be able to see that thought coming from the back before at the front, instead of catching it here and go, oh no, come back.
Well, that was okay. So that was you're leading to my next point. Would you say, because I'm not, I'm at the stage where I'm not convinced that the more awareness or the more practiced you are, the easier it is to feel that voice, feel the feeling, if you know what I'm saying, feel the tug. I think that we all feel it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But we just don't know.
We ignore it.
Right. Which one are you? It's
well,
like,
the feeling, so like I said, it's a knowing. It's really, this is where it gets kind of heady, but it's really is. And that's why we try to use words like awareness and mindfulness and presence to give a label to it. You want to get like super spiritual. I say it's a knowing. And the knowing, you don't know. If you're trying to, if once you're trying to justify the knowing, what happened?
Yeah, you're in the loop. You're back in the loop.
You're back in the mind. So if I'm trying to justify, something that I feel is pulling me, that's the mind now analyzing it and coming back in. So now you're analyzing, you're judging, you're comparing, you're actually your intuition. You're questioning your intuition, right? You're questioning your intuition. I mean, it's the more you practice. It's the more you practice mindfulness, or the more you practice watching your thoughts and doing things like taking a breath and responding to situations that are reacting to it. The more you take that pause, the more you allow that awareness to sharpen and heighten, right? I mean, people who go to join Zen monasteries, when they go in there, they're not enlightened individuals. It takes practice for them to sit and sit and sit and sit till they could really sharpen that awareness, where they're noticing things as they're happening instead of being reactionary. They're more in a response. They're in a complete response mode, not a reaction mode, right? So I mean, yes, it does. You don't wake up and become. I mean, look, there are people who's happened to it, but I believe as time goes on, your awareness becomes sharper. It becomes. It's like you said. It's like a muscle. It's a skill that becomes more in tune with what actually is going on in your mind, and it really allows you to watch and be like, yep, nope, that's that. And not to say that thoughts aren't going to pull you, they're not going to be strong. Yeah, that's all still there, but you'll know, like, this isn't where I want to be. Now, am I going to listen to this, or am I not going to listen to it? This isn't what I want to do.
Interesting.
Now, I'm not saying, well, everybody wants to live on a beach on a Caribbean island.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the mind who's painting you that picture, right?
Thank you, wise guy.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's because I can see where people are going to be like, oh, my mind, my voice is telling me I want to be a millionaire, and that's great, awesome. That's your mind that has goals, and that's beautiful. That's all awesome stuff. Meditate on that, and maybe you can manifest that. That's great. It's all great. But we do have a compass inside of us that wants to guide us in the best possible direction but it's not always the easiest path. More so than not, it's not the easy path. It's the more difficult path. It's the stickier path. It's the more challenging path. But it's the one that you genuinely want to be on. Like, you genuinely want to be, like, even the path that I'm on, there are days that it's like Matrix. You've seen Matrix, right?
Well, I know the concept.
There are days where I want to take the blue pill and go back unconscious. Like, my mind will say that to me. I want to go back unconscious, hook, line, sinker, just so I could just go through life like everybody else is. Because there are times where I feel like I'm sort of like on an island. My mind wants to paint this picture that I'm on an island. Because there's a disconnect sometimes with certain people. But like inside of me, there's something that says, I don't like, and I can't tell you, like, it doesn't have a voice. This is where we have to be. And I continue on this path because it's something that keeps pulling me on it. Keeps telling me to go deeper with it, practice it more, talk about it more, write about it more. There's no end game for it, but I don't know. There's something that keeps telling me this is the path that I want to be on. So I follow it. Yeah, and there are times where it's a little bit more challenging personally, one way or another. But I, like, if I had to go, if I had to go back to, like, I wouldn't want to be there. My mind would want to be there at times. Oh, happy go lucky and get involved in everything, and like I'll have a day where I'll be doing a lot of things, and my mind just goes, and I'm not, I'm just going through the day doing things, and then I'm exhausted at the end of the day, and I'm like, I wasn't mindful at all today. I was just go. I wasn't mindful at all. And I notice there's a difference. When I'm not mindful, I'm attached and just going, and I mean, just one thing after another. Right. And the days where I am mindful, things seem to move a little bit slower for me.
I totally agree with what you just said. And I'm going to say something about what you said about you. Sometimes you feel like you're on an island, and, the whole, just want to go back. I also want to eat cake and be happy.
Yeah.
But, we're not blind anymore. So now, you can't undo it.
Yes.
Right?
Now you can't.
To quote,
you could dim it, but it's hard to undo it. You'd really have to go like super
quote
unconscious.
The great Steve Martin. He goes, "You can unscrew a light bulb."
Exactly. Yeah.
But I will say this. So this way of being, this way of thinking, the awareness, through anecdotal evidence in your life, you can easily tell, this is not that I'm saying we're superior. I'm simply going to say what I'm going to say. It's the proper filter on life, because it kind of, as Scott Adams says, how if you have a good filter on life? He says, you can predict stuff.
Yes, I like that.
And that's how you have a proper filter on life, because...
Oh, that's true. You know what? That's really true. Wow, that's really true.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I know. It's true. I noticed that. Yeah.
So this filter is very good. Like, I think it's so practical in terms of our relationship with people, with other people, our relationship with work, our relationship with whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And then you can see the contrast of a mind that's attached, of a mind that's unaware, and you value it more. You're like, damn, like, I can see that person being unaware, and I can see myself being aware. And I go back to what you said. If I've gone a whole day and I've just been on go, but because you have this muscle, you are doing a quick little assessment. You're going, oh, all right, well, I'm here now. And then with that little assessment, you kind of move forward the rest of your day in a more conscious, aware manner. And so even though you weren't perfect, chances are that your filter on life and your decisions that you do are more net positive than net negative. And when I mean by net positive, I don't mean, money-wise. I mean, and I don't even mean success. I just mean it sits well with you. It sits well with your personality, your feeling.
Yes.
Because I think what I'm trying to get through the weeds is usually when something is at odds inside is when the turmoil begins, because it's like competing voices. But if we pay attention to the inner voice and we give it, more or less what it's asking of us, our insides are not at odds.
No.
But when we are at odds inside is when trouble begins, when the anxiety, the depression,
But what do you mean when we are at odds inside?
when you have a feeling about something, and perhaps the job. There you go. You mentioned the job. I took a job because I knew it would pay well. I don't really like it, but I took it, right? You have an internal conflict because that voice said, I don't really like this job.
Yeah, but is it really an internal conflict or is it more a mental conflict? The internal conscious voice gave you an answer already. You don't have to listen to it.
You didn't go with it because
you just didn't choose.
You went for the money.
And that's, again, each situation is different. What you genuinely wanted maybe was not to work there because you know you're not going to like that environment. You're not going to like where you are. But you're choosing to go against your intuition on that because maybe you need the money to pay your bills for your family and your wife and your kids. And your situation might dictate where choosing against it might be something you have to do.
Right.
Even though that something is telling you this isn't where we want to be.
Right.
And that's a choice that you get to make.
Right.
Right. There's no right. I'm not going to tell you which one to do.
And then that pit of your stomach feeling
that's telling you, I don't want to be here. So you're not at odds. It's screaming to you.
Oh, okay. But that's what so that's...
You're not at odds. I think it's just your intuition, your inner voice, your conscious voice, your being is screaming to you, this is not where we want to be. When we were sitting before, I was in the garage, right? And I said, I said, I can sit in my garage, I can stare at that tree and be very happy. Like my body is at peace there. When I'm in certain situations with people where it's very like people are just complaining, dramatic. Inside,
provocative.
Inside, I get a feeling I don't want to be here. Now, that said, I love everybody in my life. I love my family. I love my friends. I love everybody. So I choose. No, I don't choose like I'm doing everybody a favor. Like I'm being preemptive. Like, see, this is the filter. Like I know what you're going to say. I'm not. I choose to be because I love these people and I want to be there and I want to be there. But I know that my path is not the path of complaining and drama and all that. That's not where I want to be.
Yeah.
Like, I know that. I know it. But I could choose to still stay there because it's in the benefit of the people I care about for a certain amount of time. At other times, I choose not to. But I know, and while I'm there, my gut, my intuition's like, no, it's not talking. It's because once it's talking, now it's my mind complaining. Why are we here? We don't want to fucking be here, John. Let's go.
It's sending you the nudge.
Yeah, it's like it's just a feeling that says, it's a feeling. It's like, no, it doesn't feel right. The vibes aren't there. The energy's not there. It's very staticky. It's not peaceful. It's not calm. It's nothing. I don't want to be there. That's something that's pulling you, telling you this isn't where you want to be. Now, again, every situation is different. There's times where you don't want to be there, but it's necessary for you to be there, or for you to do something, or for you to take a job, or for you to stay to deal with something. But a lot of people don't even realize that tug is there that's telling them that this isn't where they want to be, and they don't realize that they have a choice.
Right.
So, like, the choice comes when you realize that there's a path that you actually want to be on. And you could choose to be on that path if you want. But it's going to entail you making this decision.
So chances are people have, when I say people, audience, myself, even you, we've come across decision-making opportunities, and there's a certain decision that keeps kind of coming up, and that would be labeled as, that's probably the inner voice. Kind of telling you, yeah, the decision keeps coming up because that's kind of what you want. That's why it keeps coming up. Even though you have these three other options, that one is the one.
You know when something feels right.
Sure.
You know because you're not at odds inside. So you're not at odds inside, it means it feels right.
Good.
that means that's where you genuinely would want to be.
Right. Depending on whatever.
Depending on what, right? So now you get to make a decision. Do you want to follow that path or do you not want to follow that path? And honestly, life could be very simple or very complex. It's our decision. Do we want it to be simple? Do we want even in the busy day-to-day tasks that we have to do, I understand all that, right? I get all that. But still, we get to choose, do we want to make life simple or do we want to make life complex?
Yeah.
Right? So what's your inner voice saying? What's that? I mean, like I said before, the whole thing with Morgan Freeman, like they have these cute reels, and that's painting a picture of what it would sound like. But what I don't want people to get confused about is to actually sit there and go, okay, let me listen. Stay. Okay, that was my mind. That wasn't my inner. That was my mind. Did you feel it or did you hear it? I heard it. That wasn't your intuition. In my opinion, in my experience, your intuition, you feel it. It's something you know, but you have no proof of knowing it. But you know. It's like, do you believe in God? And somebody go, yes. Have you seen God? No. Have you talked to God? Like one-on-one? No. Can you touch God? No. But do you believe in God? Yes. Why? I know he's there. You know. You have a feeling. Something pulls to you that God exists for you, or universe, or whatever, intellectual power you have this connected feeling with it. It's a knowing. Can you explain that knowing to me? No, because it's not our capacity. That's it. It's that same feeling. It's that same. How do you know? I know this isn't where I want to be. Like my insides aren't a conflict. You said it before. If I'm conflicted inside, not just up here, it's easy to getting conflicted up here takes about 2.5 seconds to do. It doesn't take long to get conflicted. But if you're conflicted inside, it means you're not listening. You're not listening because this is very clear. It just tells you, it pushes you, guides you, nudges you into a certain direction. Then it's up to us to listen to it and act on it, right? And to act on it. And it's, again, like you said before, you don't want to tell people, oh, this means that life's going to be peachy keen and hunky-dory.
Right.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It means that's where you want to be. Where you want to be, by the way, might be the tougher path for you to take. Might actually be a shittier thing that you have to go through, but it's where you want to be.
Yeah. Because
there's an end game or there's a path there for you that you genuinely want to be on, and you can't explain why. That's how I feel. Like there's days I can't explain why I want to keep being on this path.
Well, because
I enjoy it. I like it. For me, it's peaceful. It's nice to talk to people about it and stuff.
But evidence,
yes,
kind of dictates that this is a very useful, very. I mean, I don't want to say
no. I know where you're going.
Happy, relaxing.
Yes,
but you're more.
Peaceful. It's peaceful.
You're more one with yourself and the decisions that you're taking and the relationship with the people around you than
yes, I like that.
Than not. And I think that's so. I'm like you, so I agree with everything you say about sometimes there are days where you're not focusing on being aware and conscious. You're just handling one thing after the other. But I also will say this, that at that moment that we think we're not being aware, we have such training that within the unawareness, it'll seep in and you'll make a decision with an awareness filter, even though you think you didn't. You're already kind of programmed that way. At least that's me. So not everything is like that, but you can feel it. I can't explain it. Just like you said, if somebody asks you, well, do you believe in God? Same. I can't tell you my decision-making process. I can't tell you how.
The mind can't decide that. The mind's not built to make that decision. Those are feelings. That's an attachment. There's something inside you that pulls you towards something like that, right? So like with God, we were talking about God before.
But there's a process. And the process comes from our practice. And because we practice, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I went back to my own hometown, Union City, and we're buying a tuxedo or suit for my son who's going to go to the prom, right? Senior prom. but I had bought several suits from this place already. And the guy, the owner, recognized me. And I thought he had a good energy about him. I swear to you, I felt so good about his energy. When I first met the guy, that was the guy that says Mike, but my name is not Mike.
Yeah, I remember that. You told the story before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw him again yesterday. I swear it's like we're two old friends. He started just telling me stories and telling me about how he likes people that give off good energy. I'm like, I like that. I like that. It's almost like that like attracts like.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I live with this code. I've encoded in me. Like I gravitate towards people that are talking a certain way because I feel like you pop out from the others. You're a little more in tune. You may not know. He may not know it. He may not know he's in tune, but he's a little more in tune when he started saying, I don't like telling people what to do. I like to live happy. I like where you're going with this. And you click with that person. Because there's this programming we have in the background where we thought we were being unconscious, we're not 100% unconscious, is what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
We're not 100% unconscious.
Yeah.
We've done enough work, especially you. So we've done enough work that even though we think we're unconscious, we may not be 100% unconscious. We may be.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's well, I shouldn't say that.
But
I'm
talking about
most people aren't 100%
cases like us where we do work. Like every day, we make sure we meditate. We make sure, like at least for me, like I may not meditate every day, but I'm practiced. I'm meditating at least 3-4 times a week.
Yeah.
So because of that practice, I'm not going to say I shut off my mind, but I can easily go into a no.
And you can watch your mind.
Right.
Yeah.
And not every day is the same. Some days you're more active and more activities, but we're practiced. And that's what I mean. That we're a more practiced person. So even though we think we're not conscious or aware because we went about our day just dealing. That happened to me on Friday. I was just dealing all day long. But always with this layer of awareness. Like I told you.
Yeah, but that layer of awareness is there a lot. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yeah, and that's where without that, you don't get to experience filtering out all those voices, all those opinions, all those what we think are us in our heads saying all these different things. You don't get to filter them out. And with that awareness, you get to filter them out and find that actual genuine nudge, voice, path, direction that you want to go in, in life, in whatever general situation, whatever you're dealing with. That's how you're able to filter it out. And it's not always going to be where you want to be. It's not always going to be where you would think you want to be, or it's not always going to. It's not going to be the like we said before, the easier path.
Right.
So
right.
there's going to be sometimes there's unfortunately challenges that you're going to have to go through when you're following that. But one thing you will always find with your intuition is that it's compassionate, it cares for you, it loves you, it wants what's best for you, genuine you, not business owner John or coach John or real estate agent Henry. What genuinely you as a being, what you genuinely want, is always going to have that best interest for you. In the real world, that might not jive. It might not jive, right? Meaning when I say it might not jive to give you the best of something. Like, it doesn't mean you're gonna have the best job, making the best money, and you're gonna be the most popular person, and you're gonna have the most Instagram likes, and you're gonna have the most followers on this, and you're gonna be, oh my God, everybody loves John. No. But it's it's the path that you genuinely want to be on, and how you want to live your life. It's what you want to actually do right now. And maybe on that path, all these accolades happen anyway. But you don't choose that path because of the accolades, you choose that path because this is where I feel like I want to be. The tug. Like, yeah, I'm at peace here. Like, it feels right. It feels right. But I got to deal with all that if I do this. Okay, so you get to choose. That's the beauty. You get to choose. Like if you don't follow it, doesn't mean you're gonna have a horrible life. No, it just means that you might have that gut that, like you said before, my insides are at odds. So you might have to deal with that. If you're okay with your insides being at odds, then and you want to choose working somewhere, then that's fine. Right. There's no right or wrong. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. One path is probably cleaner, one path is dirtier, and you deal with them, and that's it. There's no right or wrong with it. But when somebody goes, but I want to listen to my intuition, then listen to it. My intuition is telling me I gotta I don't want to do this anymore for a living. I'm miserable.
So it's a little simpler.
So
then
don't.
So it's a little simpler
than I can't. I got to keep doing it. All right. So then, if you need to do it, then do it. I mean, but I just want people to be able to hear it. Then the choice is yours. Like I'm not telling you to choose your intuition. I'm telling you, I want to teach people how to hear that intuition, how to hear that conscious voice, how to hear that something that is beyond the I and is more about the greater good or a better path. That's where I feel like people need to evolve to. Like not enough people are able to feel that inner tug of what's important in life. That's not verbalized in words or language or pictures in our head, because once the words come back into it, again, it's our thinking mind. It's just going to be like, okay, which is great, right? Awesome tool to do a lot of things in life.
Yeah. I would say just be careful with the people that have the ego step in and beat you up on not unconsciously, but beat you up for no reason. Like sometimes the ego, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not this enough.
I hear it every day.
And then the other one, right? Like you're better than that.
I hear that one every day too.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? You can hear both in the same day. Wow, John, that was a great session with your client. You're the man. Wow, John, that was a horrible session with your client. You suck at this. You shouldn't do it anymore. I can hear both.
And can I ask you this? Are you that aware? Because it's happening to me. And I'm sure it's happening to you. You can not physically, but you can feel each feeling. So you just hung up with your client, right?
Mm-hmm.
You just
yeah.
And you can feel it. You can feel like that was a great fucking session. But you know what? I don't think I should have said this. Or should have all these things that come, and then you can see all that and say, "Thank you, all of you."
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you went there because I saw there was a rabbit hole the size of Texas we're about to walk into.
Thank you, all of you. Yeah.
GFY, yeah,
that's it.
GFY. Oh, I get it. GFY.
because you're opening doors, right? You're open. Oh, really? That was great. Why was that great? Or really, what? I shouldn't have said that. Why not? And you just drive yourself bananas. I can see those criticisms of myself. I can see those. And when, like I said, on a practiced person, you can see all the various the various critiques, accolades, good job, bad job. You're an idiot. All of them.
You can see them all.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's something that.
Yeah, no, I can. Yeah, no, I do. And it's the best way you ended it was the best. Thank you very much, right. GFY. Because it's just, you're going to go down a rabbit hole with them,
And one day, I want to, not now, but one day, I want to, now this is more towards therapy. I want to analyze why do those patterns occur the way they do? Are they a result of certain stimulus early on in life?
Yeah, triggers.
Right?
Triggers from things you've experienced, from your upbringing, maybe social, economic status, I have this environmental status.
I have this particular feeling that, like, for example, if I spent a lot of time with certain people, if this person was digging at me always and I didn't know it, but this was a negative influence in my life, and this guy did nothing but tell me this negative thing. And it kind of sticks with you where you're not good enough. You're not this enough.
Sure, it does. Absolutely.
But it took a long time for me to realize, holy shit, that guy.
Well, and that's the sad part is a lot of people there don't realize that they're actually going through that.
Right.
And they don't realize that.
I was a kid.
They're in a relationship. Yeah, no, listen, unfortunately, I think we've all experienced that. And that voice doesn't go away. It's you learn how to tune it out and say, and listen to, I want to be on a better path.
Right.
Thank you very much. Because if you listen to that voice constantly, and if it's a negative voice that you've had your whole life, like I had a negative voice for most of my life that always held me back. That's why, like, one of the things I try to say is, are these voices holding you back? Like, that you're listening to wholeheartedly, that you believe, are they holding you back in life? Probably, yeah. Then why do we keep listening to them? Why are we ignoring the one that wants better for us? Because it's easier to listen to what we know than what we don't know. You know, it's easier to listen to what's comfortable, even though it sucks, than what's uncomfortable and unknown. Because that unknown, when that one that goes, go that way, I don't know what's there.
Yeah, scary.
Scary.
Rather the hell we know than
The devil we know than the devil we don't, right? That's what they say. And again, here's the beauty of it all, right? However you want to phrase it, religious, not religious, I don't care. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Most people do not realize they have a choice. They just think they have to do things. You could buck the trend at any time and you could change things.
So true.
Are there consequences? Yes, 110%.
Yeah.
And they are at your own risk. They are at you will have to deal with, navigate them, and all that fun stuff. But you get a choice to do whatever you want in life. And if something is pulling you a certain way, and you know it is, and you keep choosing the opposite of it, I would say take a step back and let's look. So you've been pushing this voice aside for a year. How have things been going? Fucking miserable. All right. So now we have a little history. We have a little data with it too. You haven't been listening to your gut tells you do X, X, here. But we keep doing this instead. For whatever reason it might be. And I'm miserable. Well, now you have the data. Now you could choose. Is it worth it for you to stay here because there are circumstances that unfortunately are, severe enough where or important enough where it's beneficial for the people around you and for for the situation that you stay there? Okay. Or can you choose to change your path to where you actually want to be? Again, you have a choice. You could do both. You can do both. I know plenty of people who have been like, guys, I'm doing X and I don't care. We'll figure it out. I don't want to live my life this way anymore. And it throws, for a short period of time, the table gets flipped over. Everything is in chaos, but everybody's got to pick up the pieces because this person just doesn't want to live their life like that anymore. Yeah. And that's their choice to do that. Right. And if the people around you love you and they care about you enough, they're going to see that, realize that, and they're going to help you be on a path. Like, you ever see somebody who quits their job making X because I want to be a music teacher. Yeah. I've always wanted to be, like, I want to do this I love it. I want to do
so many stories.
Oh my God, I want to do this. Why haven't you done it? Well, because of this. And one day they go, I've had enough. They finally listen to that thing that says, but this is a path we've always wanted. This is a passion, something you've always valued. Go do it. Forget about the money. And the family figures it out somehow, right? Somebody gets another job. They cut this. They move to a smaller house. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever the situation might be.
Whatever it is. There's so many.
But can it happen? Yes. Can you? Yes. Does it require work? Does it require making decisions that maybe aren't easy? Yes. But you get, it's there. Like, do you want to listen to it or not? So to sum it all up, when we say conscious voice, don't look in your head for another voice, because that's just your mind. Your mind could be all seven dwarfs if you make it. It'll be all seven for you.
Happy, bashful, sad, grumpy,
sleepy, grumpy, Doc. It'll be every one of them, and none of those are your intuition. It's just going to be another layer that's, well, I'm going to be this one. I could be this. I could be this. Yeah, sure. I could keep going for hours on end on how many voices my mind could have. And believe me, there's days I'm sitting up there and I'm like, oh my God, how many people live up here?
You know, as you're talking, this is now going to be a lighthearted example. About 20 years ago or so, we went to Key West, my wife and I, and we were just there for the day. It was a cruise thing, and we're like, how awesome! I've always wanted to go to Key West, but since we're going to be here about X amount of hours, I think it's 8 hours.
It's stopovers, yeah.
Right? I forget, it's 8-10 hours, whatever
Probably,
it is.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand that, once we see this and that, but like, what else do we do? So let's take a bike tour. You know what? And we did a bike tour. Let me tell you, the best decision we did. The most incredible bike tour ever.
Awesome.
But the tour guide was this guy. very matter of fact, not a care in the world.
They tend to be those guys.
You know?
Yeah.
All right, we're all here. Awesome. All right, let me tell you the itinerary. The itinerary is this. There is no itinerary. He goes, I'm not going to take you to here or there. He goes, we're going to pass by all the normal stuff. He goes, but I'm going to show you. I'm going to take you to my house. We're going to go next door to my buddy's house. He's got this great grapefruit tree in the backyard. We're going to go pass by. If he's there, we probably won't pass it. But if he's not there, we'll go inside and we'll get a grapefruit. Everybody good with that? Great. We're pedaling, passing through the town. And it was like, if anybody's interested, yep, I'm from Queens, New York. That's right. I gave it all up for this. That's right. I'd do it again.
Wow.
So he was a high earner, grinding. I don't want to know. I'm going to Key West. Fuck it. And now he does bike tours. He lives chilling.
Yeah, but it's so. I mean, that was a decision that bucks the trend. But it's something it's the lifestyle he genuinely wanted to live.
That was his inner voice.
That was him saying, "We don't want to do this anymore."
The peace.
The peace.
The peace he wanted. The peace that his inner person wanted.
Yeah.
They're like, thank you. I don't care if we make $100.
We're not advocating
for
anybody to quit their fucking jobs and go join a monastery. If you want to, knock yourself out. If you don't. That's a great example because it shows how many people live their life without listening. And that's one example for work, right? And there's, again, your conscious voice is going to lead you through a lot of things in life, but that's a mainstream example. That's a great one because most people, that's like one of the biggest decisions is like monetarily, life, work. Sure. What do I do?
Sustenance.
Like, how do I, and you say, I'm done. I want to do this, right? We were in Hawaii. I was in Hawaii a few years ago. So we had the guy when we were checking out, was carrying our bags. He was an older guy, like in his 60s, late 50s maybe. And I was probably in my early 40s at this point, 43, 44. And we're checking out, and very nice guy. So I said, where are you guys from? I said, oh, from Jersey. Oh, yeah, I think he was from Florida. He goes, oh, I was from Florida originally, or somewhere else. I forgot where he was from. And I'm like, how long you been here? He goes, I came here on vacation with my girlfriend in 19, whatever it was. He goes, and when the vacation was over, I called my parents. I said, I'm not coming home. And they were they were of age where they were working, like they were young adults, probably in their 20s. They left everything. They stayed there. He got a job doing stuff and done. Married, kids, grandkids.
It's the life he wanted to live.
It's a life he wanted to live. Again, extreme examples. I get it, but it's to make a point, right? So you guys kind of get a flavor or feeling for like kind of what we're throwing down.
Right.
As the kids say.
Picking up what I'm putting down.
Picking up what I'm putting down. So
that's good, man.
So that in a nutshell is like now. I mean, on a one-on-one, if you were somebody was sitting with me or another life coach or a coach or a mentor, whoever you're going to talk to, and you want to talk more about intuition, it's not a voice, it's a feeling. But most people don't follow that feeling because of the voices in their head. Because these voices, we believe, are right, and they have our best interest in mind. This is just trying to survive. That's all it's trying to do. It doesn't give a shit what's better for you. It's just trying to survive, which might be make more money, make more this, be more that, be more that, be more that. But what do you genuinely want in life? Want to find that more? Go to my website. No.
Yeah, no. I mean, no pun intended. But definitely, there's a book. There's John's services, and honestly,
but even my services, I probably the way I do this is very bad for business because it doesn't take long to realize what it is, and then you're on your way. Like
fine,
you don't need me for like if you need me for months and months and months and months and months, and that could be great too. I'm not going to say no, but like
let me tell you,
at some point you just like talking to me, or maybe there's other things you want to discuss beyond that, like life.
I'm gonna flip the table on you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, if I'm a doctor and you come to me and you say, look, this hurts, and you come to me, well, you know what, and I discover it within 30 minutes, you don't have to come back again.
No.
Would you like that doctor, or would you say, what a shitty doctor?
No, I love that doctor.
He's a good doctor.
Yeah.
And if
I got you.
If you're good at what you do,
it doesn't take it really. It's not as complicated as it sounds.
Not only if you're good at what you do,
practice.
But imagine, here's another one. All right. So you got the doctor. He knew how to assess you correctly, but his bedside manner sucks. So you do like them, but I don't know if I want to put up with
Yeah,
that.
I know a couple of doctors like
So-
that. No offense, guys.
But now you have great bedside manner. You get to the heart of the issue. As you just kind of alluded to, it's kind of easy, you know. Once you hone in on what it could be, it's easy to just give the advice that they need to kind of like get going.
But also depends. So it depends on like if you went to a doctor says, "I know what this is. Do this, do this, do this. You'll be good in a couple of weeks. Fix it." If you go home and you don't do this, this, and this,
Oh yeah.
you're back there a month later.
Oh yeah.
So I could have a client, or any life coach or any mentor or any therapist even could have a client,
Infinite one.
and they tell you, okay, this is the path. Do this. We're gonna work on this. Okay, blah blah blah. And you don't listen. You don't take their directions, and you turn the opposite way. Where they're like, well, here's the map. Let's turn right. I'm gonna go left instead. You might be there 4 years later making left turns going in a circle.
Yeah.
When they're like, the right turn's there, get off the highway, like, hear it. And so it's up to the person to actually want to do the work, to feel uncomfortable, to do all that fun stuff. But if you're willing to do the work, yeah, then like you get there. And once you get there, it's self-sustaining. It's like renewable energy. It's self-sustaining. Like you said before, do you ever lose it? No. Sometimes it dims, but then it comes back. Like for you to lose it, you got to go like, I don't know. Go on a bender of all benders, like I don't know. You have to become almost like a vegetable because it's
On purpose.
like it's got to be on purpose. Like it's got to be on purpose. It's hard to lose that awareness because once it's there, it's always like this thing that's watching the voices, and you're like, oh my god, it's there all the time. Yeah, it is. You found it. That's great. You know. So
Yeah.
anyway,
I hope you all find it.
y'all. I hope y'all find it. I don't know. Anything else?
Listen, let's keep it right here because I can go on. I can go for days.
Hey, but all these stuff for episode 69 and 70.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody last week and I said, so how many episodes do you do? I'm on 68. They go, what? Yeah, every week for like the last year and a half. Like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
And I take a lot.
I'm like, how many have you listened to? None. I'm like, thank you.
like, yeah, I mean, aside from that,
Yeah, I was like, great.
I take a lot of pride.
Yeah, it's not for me. I'm like, all right, good. It's not for you.
Like, I'm very proud of how consistent we've been. Like, I'm very proud of that. You know,
Consistency is the most important of all traits you could want to have when you're trying to work or get through something or just navigate work, life, mental, spiritual, whatever it might be. It's about consistency. Go to the gym today. I don't feel like it. Okay. Is today chest day? Yeah. You gonna skip? I don't feel like it. Okay. Yeah. Or be consistent and go do your workout or whatever it might be, right? So consistency is key.
yeah, I'm proud of that because, you know,
We're consistent.
that's how, because, yeah, when you think about it, 68, you know, that implies 68 weeks.
You know what next week is? Oh, wait, no, is this 69?
You will witness. Not just,
No, wait, this is 69.
this is 69?
Yeah.
And I didn't crack any jokes?
No, this is 67. This is 69.
Bro,
Do I have to check? I don't know. I think it's
I'm
69.
going to have to re-record this so I can make jokes.
No. No, I hope the mics work. No, is this 69? Of course I can't. Here it is, Podbean. I'm going to check. I'm just curious. I'll let everybody go. I mean, you probably left already, but still. Podcast. Wait, look at this. 60. Oh, no. Sorry. This is 68.
All right, good.
This is
I'll
68.
come prepared.
Next week,
No pun
it's
intended.
good old 69. We're going to put that on OnlyFans, that one. That episode won't be on YouTube. It's going to air on OnlyFans.
I'm gonna go.
OnlyFans, that's what it's called? That website?
OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a severe diet. Severe because, you know, I'm going to show some skin. I got to get ready.
Woo!
Got to get ready.
Cool beans.
My
Anything else?
peeps. No, that's all, man.
All right, my man.
It's been great.
As always, a good time, everybody.
Who says you can't learn anything here?
Enjoy. Well, you can't learn anything here. People learn a lot. A lot of things here. Some people get very confused here, but others learn a lot here.
I mean, I've gotten nothing but positive.
Me too. Me too. The people that don't listen because it's not their jam.
Sure.
Fine.
Maybe not their jam
It
today.
sounds confusing to them
Maybe not their jam today. And there's going to come a point where it might resonate.
because the mind says that doesn't make sense. And what do we do when something doesn't make sense? we don't want to know,
Push it aside.
push it aside. The unknown is not a comfortable place to be. It's where I spend most of my life, but so, all right, everybody. Peace out. Everybody have a good week, and we will catch you guys on the flip side.
That's it.
All right?
69.
69 coming at you.
That
sounds so bad. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. The insights and discussions that we speak about on our show are our own opinions and based on our life experiences. If you or someone in your family or someone you know is suffering and in need of help, please get them that help through medical attention or seeking proper therapy. Again, what we speak about are based on our experiences and not intended to be taken as a form of therapy. Thank you.